to argue with a cat. Chapter 3. Diffuse anger, the toilet argument. Cool things down with a thing called the future. Cats get angry just as people do, and for pretty much the same reasons. Though, since most cats don't drive cars, they get angry less often. Cats and people get angry when they're disrespected, they're disappointed, they're lied to, they're denied a good thing. This, to a cat, is the same as being lied to. Their territory gets invaded. Cats, like people, don't like to be laughed at when they're angry. And the very, very worst thing you can do to angry cats or people is tell them to calm down. Telling someone to calm down implies that his anger is his own fault. Anyone who's angry believes that someone else, not him, is to blame. And if he thinks you're to blame and you're the one telling him to calm down, well, keep a respectful distance from his claws. So, what do you do with an angry cat or human? Let's start with a human, then we'll work our way up to cats. An argument between people almost always covers one of three topics. Topic: blame. You left it up again? Your partner left the toilet seat up, and the cat drank out of it again. When you blame someone for leaving the toilet seat up, what kind of mood are you in? Are you admiring the beauty of the oval lid? Laughing at the thought of sitting down and falling in? Thinking sadly of how so much in life goes down the drain? Probably not. Most likely, you're doing some fast detective work, quickly deciding on the perpetrator, and then getting mad at the jerk. Chances are this isn't the first time he has committed this crime. He's a repeat offender. And you have prosecuted him before, many times. He is beginning to look like the kind of criminal who cannot be reformed. So the only thing to do at the moment is to yell at him. Take out your frustration. Not to mention the cat. She has fresh water laid out just for her. Clean water in her very own watering place on the floor. So why does she insist on drinking out of the toilet? Your house is full of evildoers. Now, think of your partner. How does he react when you yell at him? He feels defensive. Or he thinks you are overreacting. I mean, you're both dealing with car payments and job stress, and meanwhile the earth is warming and there's terrorism and fake news and global horror everywhere. And you're bothered about a toilet seat? This kind of stupid, beside-the-point attitude drives you even crazier. So you raise your voice more, which now makes him angry, which makes you angrier, and so on. Meanwhile, the cat is the only grown-up in the room. Actually, she is not in the room. She's sensibly hiding under the bed. Loud voices hurt her sensitive ears. So, how is this blame thing working out for you? Blame is a topic that leads to anger, especially in humans. Topic: values. A good partner wouldn't leave the toilet seat up. Instead of pointing out your partner's crime, you talk about his character. A good spouse would care about your cat's hygiene and the risk of her drowning in the toilet, not to mention the likelihood of you falling in yourself. Values have to do with good and bad, right and wrong, who's right and who's wrong. Being considerate about the toilet seat, good. Being inconsiderate, bad. A spouse who's inconsiderate is a bad spouse, and therefore a bad person. In short, leaving the toilet seat up proves what a complete jerk your partner is. Values are the nuclear option of argument, blowing up any chance of a solution. This is no longer about putting the toilet seat down. It's about an entire sinking relationship. And the cat? We'll leave the cat out of this. As it is, she's leaving herself out of the entire conversation. So, what kind of mood are you in while accusing another person of being rotten to the core? And what kind of mood do you think that puts him in? The problem with the values topic is that it offers no way out except to break off the relationship, which seems like a pretty dramatic way to deal with a misplaced toilet seat. The amazing thing is, many human couples do just that. They use every disagreement to prove to the other their superiority, and that the only mistake they made was to marry the other person. Arguments do not break up marriages. Happy couples disagree all the time. Topics, the wrong topics, break up marriages. Values, good and bad, make the worst topic for staying together. Now, not that you shouldn't have values. A sense of right and wrong is a good thing. It's just that this makes for a lousy argument over a toilet seat. The values argument leads to anger. To improve the mood in the room, you don't want to prosecute your partner. That's the blame topic. Nor do you want to show that the toilet seat proves him a terrible person. That's values. So, are you doomed? Does your partner's thoughtlessness lead inevitably to a life alone with your cat? No, because there's a third topic. This one can save an argument and even a marriage. Topic: choice. How are we going to keep this from happening again? In the best arguments, you offer a choice or decision. You come up with a solution to a problem. Your spouse might disagree with your solution, but he proposes a choice of his own. That's what you argue about. You don't accuse each other. You don't use the toilet seat as proof of each other's criminality. Instead, you look at the problem and talk about how to solve it. You make a choice. Suddenly, the topic is no longer about what the man did or what kind of husband he is, but about solving the problem together. Easy for us to say, right? How can you think of choosing the best topic when you're furious at someone or getting yelled at yourself? Here's a trick. Instead of thinking about the topic, blame, values, or choice, go back to grammar lessons. Think about what tense you should be in, past, present, or future. Blame has to do with a crime committed in the past. Values is all about the present, who's good and who's bad. Future, a fix that makes for a better tomorrow and drier cats. So, here is the most useful tool to take the anger out of a human argument. Switch to the future. If you're the victim, avoid focusing on the crime. Whatever you do, avoid attributing the crime to some character flaw in the perpetrator. Instead, talk about what choice to make to keep the thing from happening again. You chose the moment, you chose the medium, now you choose the future. You. I see you left the toilet seat up again. I went online and found a device that closes it automatically. We could spend the money, or you could get in the habit of closing the lid. This approach does not ensure perfect behavior. The blighter may promise to close the lid and then forget again. Some highly intelligent spouses, especially the male ones, suffer a serious mental block when it comes to toilet lids. It may have something to do with the kidneys, and maybe the Y chromosome. But at least the neighbors won't hear you yelling at each other. The relationship stays intact, and the bathroom may get a bit safer for thirsty cats. Cats can be futurists, too. No self-respecting cat would leave the toilet seat up in the first place. But if someone has already left it up, he thanks them. But suppose the cat is angry with you for something you did or failed to do. Suppose Natalie agreed to take care of the neighbor's kitten for a few hours in her and Charlie's home. Charlie gets upset, understandably. This is a serious violation of his personal space. Now, Charlie is a reasonable cat. Some cats are not. Females, in particular, can be as territorial as male humans. He is wise enough to know that he might get something out of this situation, like a treat. Natalie, don't worry, Charlie. This adorable little kitten is only here for a while. You and I will be alone together in just a few hours. Charlie looks pathetic. Natalie, oh, come on, Charlie. Here's a treat. Excellent negotiation, Charlie. Honestly, some cats and very few humans are as sophisticated as this. If you want to salvage a bad situation, you have to think about the future. Otherwise, you have nothing but anger. When you are facing an upset person, try switching the tense to the future. If that fails, remove the cause of their anger, scrawny cat, open toilet seat, and back off. Living in the now makes some cats and all people tribal. Gurus and New Age types tell us to be really present and to live in the now. There's a lot to this philosophy. It has produced many happy cats. But the present is a very tribal tense, especially when there's a disagreement. The present is all about values and about who's good or bad, who's in or out of the clan. Cats think of good people and good cats just as they think about good things and bad things. Good people provide good things and smell familiar. Good cats smell like family. A good person who does a bad thing such as stepping on a cat's tail, may temporarily not qualify as a good person. But as long as you behave yourself, providing more good things, you'll soon be back in the cat's good graces. Here's the thing. Cats, despite their reputation, do not bear grudges. They simply decide right from wrong. If you're permanently wrong, a bad person, a cat still won't bear a grudge. She'll simply hate you. Cat wisdom. Dignity won't get your belly rubbed, so you embarrassed yourself. Be like a cat and leave the past behind.